Rev up your engines! Okay, today we got a common problem. He's got a drain. When he doesn't use the vehicle, it drains the battery. Just like, let's say in your house, you leave a light turned on. Well, you really don't care if you leave a light turned on in your house, because you pretty much have an endless supply of electricity from the transformer outside in the wires. You just get a slightly higher electric bill. Well, vehicles don't work that way. They got a battery. Just like leaving a flashlight out, eventually you will run out of electricity, and then you're stranded. Now, all vehicles have a tiny bit of drain for their burglar alarm systems and stuff like that. So we're going to figure this out using some modern tools. First thing, we use my Power Pro PP Draw. It's a cool tool. You just plug it into the OBD port. Plug it in, and we're going to roll the window down. We make sure the window's rolled down, because we got to close the door. That way the door light isn't on. You can see those are on. They got to turn themselves off in a little bit of time. Now the overhead lights just turn themselves off. Now you can see right here, it's like 125 or so milliamp draw. So that's like 2.5 times what it's supposed to be at max. This is a relatively older vehicle, so a lot of times they'll only have maybe 15, 20 milliamp draw when they're normally set, because they don't have all the fancy crap that modern cars have on them. Pretty basic vehicle. So now we got to figure out, where the heck is that draw coming from? A little amp hound. We turn it on. We can check each fuse to see which ones have power going through them. So there's fuses in a pillar box here, so we'll start checking them. They're a lot easier to get to. That one's 0. That one's 0. Exciting, isn't it? That one's 0. Okay. Now this one has got a little reading, so let's set it up correctly. That is a 15 amp fuse. So now before we go any further, you can see the interior lights are on now. So we'll pull this fuse out. Well, it's not the interior light fuse, so that's good news. So as we check it, we'll see what it says. It's 60 milliamps. Just stuff under the seat that people have added in. And one of them is this giant stereo system. So I'm disconnecting the main power. See if that does anything. And as you can see now, the draw is coming down. It keeps dropping. Let's let it sit a while. Well, you can see it keeps dropping. It's dropping to 149 now. When you have something like a stereo system, it's got all kinds of stuff in it. Condensers, they hold power even when you disconnect them. So it can take time for them to drain down. Sometimes it can actually take 12 hours. Like if you're working on a stinking Volkswagen, if you are checking one of these things, sometimes you gotta stick the device out the window, close the door, and wait 12 hours. Because all the systems have to shut down. This isn't that complicated, but somebody added this weird system on top of what it had. It wasn't originally set up with this stuff. Somebody, the previous owner, added that stuff. And he also said they added a power lift to it, which isn't there anymore, but the wiring still is. You can see it's still dropping. Now it's down to 112. And a few minutes later, we see it's still dropping. Now it's down to 85. So somebody put that sound system in it kind of squirrely, and it's just draining too much power, even when the car's turned off. It's a good thing it wasn't a fuse box. They're expensive and they're a pain in the butt. I just thought it might have been a fuse box because I couldn't get anything apart because it's so old. But old vehicles like this, look, Americans are stupid when they build their cars. They put a fuse box next to the engine, so the heat of the engine hits all that plastic crap, and of course it gets brittle and starts to melt because it's under the hood. You know, it's better to stick them inside the vehicle. So we figured out what it was using that smart device. It's phenomenal for checking things out. Now, as you saw, you really have to have patience. We saw it was going down. It got down to 70 milliamps. It probably would have gone down way under 50 if we would have waited 12 hours, because there's probably a whole bunch of capacitors in that system, and they all got to power down. It's probably got amps, preamps, whatever, and it fed them power, and they're still holding it, but it was the sound system that was doing the whole thing. It didn't come with a vehicle. They added that stuff on, the previous owners, that also added the wheelchair lift, which it wasn't there anymore. But now you can see, anybody can test this stuff. It's just gotta have patience. That's one thing. And you gotta remember, capacitors hold power, so some cars, you gotta wait. But if it does have a problem, you plug it in, you'll see it will start to drop. And it started to drop immediately when I took that big power line on. You saw that. And then eventually it got to 70, and he didn't have the time to wait around for 12 hours, but it probably would have gone even lower. But that's the main problem, because it went from a huge drain down to a much smaller, and it was all that sound system. And it's a good advice to anybody that's ever working on a car. Ask, did you add anything on this car? Because it's usually the add-ons that screw these things up. And in this case, that's exactly what it was. And let's say you didn't want to do what I did, probing all those fuses with the probe machine. It's a pain in the butt. It takes a long time, right? Do what I did. Take the power leads off the fuse box. And if you take the power leads off the fuse box and you still got the drain, hey, the drain isn't in the fuse box, and you don't have to test any of them. That's the absolute fastest way of doing it. So you know how a cool device like this Power Probe PP Draw can find draws really fast. When you get to them, it immediately starts showing you how it's dropping down. And as a bonus, this particular thing is a memory saver. If you plug this end of the OBD port and push smart output, it'll supply power to the computer, so you don't have to worry about losing all the memory. And everything you have has to be reset. And I'm on a car that's a pain in the butt, so it's great for that too. Pretty interesting tool. Find shorts, keep from losing memory when you replace a battery or do any type of work on the car. Pretty cool device. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Mario Cruz says, what do you think of the Honda Del Sol? Okay, the Honda Del Sol was an excellent vehicle, but it failed from a sales point. Bare-boned back in the day. I had customers with them that had 250,000 miles on them. They were still running perfectly fine. I liked them a lot better with the manual transmissions, but they were very good, dependable cars. But they were kind of in no man's land in terms of marketing for Honda. So they stopped making them. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They're just basically a little bit jazzed up Honda Civics. Carmen Santana says, what do you think of a 2019 Infiniti Q60? It would depend on the mileage. Infinitis are fun, fast, zippy cars to drive. But as they age, they become endless money pits, because even though Nissan makes them, the parts for Infinitis are scarcer, they cost more. A lot of the Infinitis, the catalytic converters go on them when they get older. Now between, 0 miles and 100,000, they might not have any problems at all. But as they age, start to have problems, they cost money. Like I say, they have catalytic converter problems. They also have transmission problems. They're not as well made as, say, a Lexus or an Acura is if you're looking for a long-term, luxurious car. Mike M says, Scotty, what do you think of a 2015 Grand Cherokee with eco diesel engines? One, they're very expensive, but the thing is, those are the eco diesel engines. They're terrible. They've gone through 3 generations. Each one has its problem. I had customers with them that had to get engines replaced under warranty by Chrysler, and then the warranty engine went out a short period later. Or the warranty engine leaked oil as soon as they got it back. I would not buy one of those things. Isaac Vermette says, would you ever want that Shelby GT500 back? It was 2012. Okay, only if somebody else is paying for the insurance and the gasoline. Okay, I drove that thing like a maniac. I had it for 1 week. I averaged about 3 miles a gallon. I was going full bore in that thing. It was fun, but now I'm getting older, too old for that kind of stuff. I'd probably run into a tree or something, right? 13 years ago. I'm not as fast as I was 13 years ago, so it would probably be a bad idea to get my hands on one and drive it around now. Matthew MLH says, where are you in Rhode Island? Can I make an appointment? Sure. I'm here for the next couple of months. Just email Scotty Kilmer at gmail.com, SCOTTYKILMER at gmail.com. I've been doing it so long, I kept my actual name at Gmail. That's how long I've been doing this stuff, right? It's not Scotty.do. No, it's Scotty Kilmer at gmail.com. And I'm in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. And during the weekdays, I love meeting people, checking out their cars, helping them out with their problems. So feel free to email me, set up a time. I love meeting people. I love, especially if you got either a new model car so I can show people the new ones, or one that you really hate or really like so I can show it off to people, show them problems, or show them a car that doesn't have any problems. Alex G says, Scotty, what's your favorite truck with the best mile per gallon for everyday use? Okay, I gotta say it's my son's. He's got a 2022 Tacoma TRD, and it's a phenomenal truck. Even though it's a V6, it gets really good gas mileage for a V6. They're excellent trucks. And I paid a lot of money for that truck. I paid like 45 grand for that thing. It wasn't a cheap truck, right? They also have 2017 regular 4-cylinder Tacoma. That's the work truck that they use to fix up houses and stuff and move crap around, bales of hay and stuff. I mean, it's perfectly fine for that. The new one, I gotta say, it's the most comfy. Has 4 doors, lots of room, yet has plenty of power for towing, pulling our boats around and stuff. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.